Warning, this video contains team selection and captain choices which some viewers may find offensive.
Hey guys, and welcome back to FPL TV. Before looking to Game Week 30, let's quickly see how the side performed in blank Game Week 29. Last week was a really tough one to take, because if you watched my last video, you'd know I was weighing up whether or not to use the free hit chip for Game Week 29, a game week that only had 4 fixtures. Ultimately, I decided that because I already had 8 players featuring in Game Week 29, my team was therefore already pretty well set up, and perhaps the free hit could be better utilised later into the season. By the end of the game week though, this was a choice that was really hard to accept, because the free hit draft that I put together in my last video scored an incredible 83 points, an absolute dreamland score that would have really transformed my season. My team, however, scored an abysmal 38, therefore a huge 45-point swing on that decision alone. In my free hit draft, it included a triple up of Brighton defenders who did indeed keep a clean sheet against Newcastle, along with the likes of Antonio and Lingard at West Ham who scored 19 points between them. In the end, had I pulled the trigger on that free hit, it would have been an exceptional game week and I'd be feeling a whole lot more positive. But my poor score of 38 not only saw a drop in the rankings, but also left me with a strong feeling of what could have been. And that extra 45 points would have left me just outside the top 100k, a much better position. I still stand by the decision, because who'd have thought that almost every player in that free hit draft would have delivered, and on paper the 4 fixtures did feel fairly underwhelming. All I can think to myself now is that despite dropping 45 points, at least I still have the free hit in hand, and hopefully I can make up those points again when I choose to use it later, with Game Week 33 a likely candidate when both Man City and Tottenham blank. So Game Week 29 was certainly one to forget, with Gareth Bale not even featuring for my side, and therefore I ended up with just 7 players for the game week. Despite the low score of 38, on the positive it was only a small drop in ranking of 30,000 places, so not much has really changed. But like I said, it was more the feeling of what could have been, and it now feels like a huge opportunity has been thrown away. So let's move on to Game Week 30 now, and see how the side is currently lining up with all the teams returning for this game week. Also, if you enjoy the content here at FPL TV, then be sure to leave a like and most importantly get subscribed. You can also hit the notification bell so you always know when a new video goes live. For Game Week 30, the initial plan was to hold the transfer this week, and overall I think the squad looks solid enough to do so. My team faces a lot of difficult fixtures in the following game week, Game Week 31, so if possible I'd like to have 2 free transfers heading into that one. Granted, I do still have a few injury concerns though, and it's important to remember there's still a few international fixtures yet to be played. Son Heung-min obviously remains a doubt, so I'm still hoping for an update on him before the deadline. But with Tottenham notably now confirmed to have a double game week in Game Week 32, I'm pretty keen to hold on to the South Korean even if he does miss this Newcastle fixture. By the time this video goes out, İlkay Gundogan may have played 3 games for Germany during this break, so there's certainly a worry over him getting rotated, and as for Gareth Bale in my midfield, well there's every chance that he's getting benched once again. Initially, when I bought Gareth Bale, he seemed like a straightforward transfer. He had scored 4 goals in the previous 3 games, and had that fixture in blank Game Week 29, but very suddenly it's now looking like a bit of a disaster transfer. He didn't feature at all against Aston Villa, even despite Son Heung-min not being available. Lo Celso is now back from injury, Carlos Vinicius scored in that big win away to Villa, and Lucas Moura is also playing extremely well, so there's certainly plenty of doubt here that Bale will start against Newcastle. The good news is I do have Ollie Watkins at home to Fulham on the bench this week, a perfect first sub should any of these players miss out. And to be fair, if Jack Grealish is back for Aston Villa, and if there's any further suggestions that Bale, Gundogan or Son will miss out, then I can easily bring him into my starting 11 anyway. In general, the bench looks fairly solid this week, and that's why I'm thinking perhaps I can get away with rolling my free transfer for Game Week 30. For the captaincy in Game Week 30, there's 4 players currently in my consideration, in Bamford, Rafinha, Bruno Fernandes and Harry Kane. Although I think Son Heung-min would have to come into the conversation as well should he be past fit for Newcastle. As mentioned last week, Brighton's defensive numbers lately have been very impressive, and for that reason I can't see myself captaining Bruno over the other considerations this week, even despite him being such a reliable option. As things stand, the armband sits with Harry Kane, perhaps the obvious choice this week, with his opponent's Newcastle looking bereft of confidence at the moment. However, I certainly haven't ruled out one of the Leeds boys just yet. Leeds face bottom of the league Sheffield United this week, and statistically speaking, the Blades' defence has been incredibly poor, and notably a lot worse than Newcastle's in terms of underlying numbers. In the last 7 game weeks, Sheffield United have conceded a whopping 28 big chances, by far more than any other team and almost double the amount of Newcastle's on 15. Meanwhile, during those last 7 game weeks, both Bamford and Rafinha are in the top 4 for shots and shots inside the box, so either of them could be very good shouts at home to the Blades this week. And with I'm sure so many opting for Kane, perhaps a Leeds player could be a nice differential for me to try and shoot up the rankings. Hypothetically, if I were to make a transfer this week, then it's a second Chelsea defender that is firmly on the radar. Since Tuchel took over in Game Week 20, Chelsea have only conceded an incredible 2 goals in 11 Premier League games. On top of that, they've only conceded 6 big chances in that time, by far the least in the division. With some excellent fixtures coming up, including a nice home fixture against struggling West Brom this week, statistically, a few more clean sheets could be on the way for Chelsea, hence the temptation to double up on their defence. With Rudiger already in my side, Azpilicueta looks to be the other safe bet in terms of guaranteed minutes. Granted, the likes of Christensen is $1 million cheaper, and Alonso offers a lot more attacking threat, but each of those comes with the risk of rotation whilst Azpilicueta looks to be nailed on. So a free transfer of Ben Mee to Azpilicueta is one potential move I could make this week. Another transfer option this week would be to replace Gareth Bale, and perhaps punting on his teammate Lucas Moura could be a good shout for the next few weeks. Moura has been in decent form of late, and I'm really liking the look of this Newcastle fixture, especially after their showing against Brighton last time out. As mentioned, Tottenham also now have a double game week confirmed in Game Week 32, therefore Lucas Moura could be a decent short-term punt for me. So that's all my thoughts heading into Game Week 30. And as always, if you'd like to see the final team, captaincy and transfers, then you can do so over on the FPL TV Twitter page shortly before the Game Week deadline. Good luck to you all for Game Week 30, FPL responsibly, and I'll catch you all very soon.